I find the side view to be pretty weird, to be honest. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix, this time around 2nd to 7th of June 2025. And to be honest with you guys, this week's figure pre-orders are not very exciting, at least to me, even though we do have a couple of Goddess of Victory Nikke scale figures as well as one from Blue Archive. On the third party side, there are maybe 2 or 3 really cool figures, but that is about it. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan, our affiliate partner for genuine scale PVC figures from Japan. And I've selected the scale figures I want to cover as usual, starting off with the biggest scale as usual. We only have one this week. 1x4 scale Shino illustrated by Rico. This is a 1x4 scale by Omaha, and I believe I've covered this on AmiAmi a week back. Did I? I feel like I've done the coverage, but I'm not too sure. But whatever I remembered back then, I was really wrong about one thing. So I thought there were 2 versions. Deluxe version where I get 2 figures in the box, and also a cheaper version where you only get a basic 1 single figure. And then as it turns out, my memory was wrong. I think I posted the wrong information even on my Discord server. Apparently, the 2 different versions are 2 different scales, and I'm not sure if I've seen Omaha did this. This is a 1x4 scale, 37,500 yen, June 2026 release, and yes, this is cast offable. And then there is a cheaper version that is about half the price, 16,500 yen. This is actually a 1x6. Back then, I assumed the more expensive version was a 1x6 as well, but you're getting like 2 entire figures, something like that. Yeah, I was wrong. It is 1.4 and 1.6, interestingly, because I don't remember seeing Omaha doing a 1.4 before. At least I don't remember any. That is why I made the mistake. Anyways, if you love your lollies, you might want to give this a serious look. I think she looks kind of nice. I like her face. But everything else, yeah, that is where the good news ends. It feels kind of generic to me. Like nothing too special, just black bikini that you can remove. And for that reason alone, for a Chinese brand, the 1x4 scale at 37k is feeling kinda expensive, even though it is a customable figure that is free in price. And detail levels are not exactly that outstanding, you know. Yeah, just a bikini figure after all. Not bikini, maybe lingerie, but same thing. Low details. However, give her a serious look if you love your lollies once again. Moving up next, we have this figure I believe I covered last week on OshGK. So now she's available on HLJ, 1x6 scale new era Sugar King Joey Spirit Tail Packed Xiaoju. And this is almost 26,000 yen. I believe this time around, this figure by PJ Studio, PVC figure by the way, it is a bit cheaper over in OshGK because you know Chinese figures, sometimes they tend to be lower priced in domestic Chinese market, China market. So you might want to compare prices and get this PVC figure over at OshGK. Yeah. Anyways, this is a great looking scale figure still, and PJ Studio, like, nowadays they have a lot of my respect. The stuff they're coming up with, even though they are not to my taste, they're making all this realistic stuff. The quality they are coming up with, they are quite good. Yeah. So moving up to the next one here, we have a 1x6 scale Hanikami Kanojo Kasane Minazumi swimsuit version. I feel I've seen this face before. Is there another brand that has made a scale figure of her? I've seen this face somewhere. Must be the same character. So this is by Union Creative at 1x6 scale, 23,000 yen, February 2026 release. Okay, fair enough. It is a 1.6, 23k is fair enough. Could be lower, but that is just me being a cheapskate. I think 20,000 yen would be perfect for a simple bikini figure like this. And for Hanikami Kanojo, this series of original art characters, they need to get the face right. If the face is a screw up, then it is game over for the figure. The smile and the blush over here underneath her eyes, they need to get that right. But Union Creative, I think when it comes to face sculpt, I don't think I have any problems with them, so there we go. Just that I have no idea how to predict this one, whether the value would go up or go down after release. I have no idea. Yeah. I love her face though, and I think the main selling point of this figure is the face. Moving on to the next one. So this one actually went on pre-order on AmiAmi late last week. And then I told myself, isn't this already on pre-order months ago? And then I did not bother to cover it last week. And then now this week, HLJ put up this figure for pre-order. I was like, wait, is this actually a new figure? And I just skipped it last week. This Cane Bunny Girl Deluxe Edition from Hobby Sakura. Deluxe is 30,200 yen, April release. And the standard version without the wall scroll is 27,400 yen, which is still very expensive for a 1x4 scale. Sorry, for a 1x6 scale by a Chinese brand. Hobby Sakura is Chinese, even though they make excellent figures. I feel like I've seen this go on pre-order like months back. Maybe it is China, you know? Because some Chinese brand figures, they pre-order several weeks ahead of Japan's websites. Like the recent giveaway that I did on this channel, that SSR figure by Infinity Studio, that Kurokawa Mio Dear My Rubber figure. That one was on pre-order in China like a couple of weeks earlier, compared to everywhere else on the internet, on Japanese websites. Yeah, so maybe I saw this in Chinese website. That is why it felt so familiar. Now my opinion on this figure, it is just a bunny girl figure, but with a very attractive pose. It is just a bunny girl. That is all I see in this figure. It is just a bunny girl. It is nice to have her in 1x6 scale and a fairly unique or fairly interesting pose. But in the end, it is just a bunny girl. And at this 27,000 yen that is for the standard version, I can't help but feel this is kinda overpriced. Especially when I'm knowing this is coming from a Chinese brand. Maybe her Chinese price is way cheaper, maybe, right? So with Chinese brand figures, sometimes they have two different prices. A lower price for the domestic China market, and then there's a higher price for everywhere else. This has always been the case for figures by Apex Toys, by Mietos, by Hobby what? Not just Hobby Sakura. Another Chinese brand, what was the name again? They do these radio era figures. Is it Hobby Max? I think it's Hobby Max, right? I think so. Anyways, that's the unfortunate part. Like for people like me who can shop on Taobao just because we can kind of converse in Chinese, read Chinese a little bit. Yeah, we can get our stuff cheaper over there. And sometimes, you know, these Chinese brand figures, when you buy the China version, you get a bit of a bonus inside the box, a bonus item. Yeah. So I can't help but feel this is overpriced. She should be 10 to 15% cheaper. I think 24,000 yen is fair. Max 24k. Yeah. Okay, and that is especially when I factor in that base over there, nothing special going on, just a plain round disc, making the price of 27,000 yen even the more egregious when I think about it. Yeah. Moving up next, we have a 1x6 scale Echi figure from Limland. This is a Chinese brand as well, and how they are able to make figures like this, your guess is as good as mine. 21,000 yen, under 21k, February 2026 release. They call it Summer End original character. And yes, you get the Nyan down there. Yep. And the face expression on this is so nice. Like, this is another one of those figures like that Hanikami Kanojo figure earlier. They need to nail the face. Otherwise, the figure is finished. Yeah. So with Limland, they actually have a few figures out already. You can check out user photos in MFC. And oddly enough, even though they make 18 plus figures, which tend to hold on their value or even increase in value after release, that is not the case for Limland. They have figures that have been a little bit. Yeah. I'm not sure why that happened. And even if I wanted to get one of those and review them, in an attempt to find out what is wrong with the figure, if any, I can't review it on YouTube. Like the figure is barely wearing anything straight out from the box. Yeah, that's difficult. So if you ask me, should I pre-order this early? I don't know yet because it is a bit premature to assume that the figure value will drop after release just because one or two figures from the same brand, yeah, that happened. No bargain binning. Just because one or two figures from this brand bargain bins earlier, it does not mean the same thing will repeat. But if we see every release go by the same pattern, then I would hold off from pre-ordering it for sure. For now, I won't pre-order this figure even if I actually like it, especially with all of the diorama parts included with the base over here, making it quite a value buy, I mean. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have two figures from Goddess of Victory Nikke. The first one is the one I like more. This is Mary Bay Goddess by Reverse Studio, Chinese brand again. At 1/6 scale, only 17,500 yen. You'll see my long rant earlier about that cane bunny costing like 27,000 yen at 1/6 scale. This is also a 1/6 scale and she is way cheaper, even though this is coming from a franchise that they need to pay the licensing fee for. Yeah, Nikke. Earlier, that character, that cane bunny, that is some kind of like original character, yet she cost way more than this. So I think my criticisms were kind of justified earlier. Now, this one could be potentially an excellent purchase regardless of what you think about her face. So I saw a few comments about this figure in my Discord server. You can join it in the link below in the description. Some people were saying things like, does not match her original face or something in the game. Like, does she have a trademark face expression or something? I'm not sure because I barely have time to play any game nowadays. So, going by what I'm seeing with these pictures over here, I don't hate the face. In fact, I like the face a lot. And at this price of 17,500 yen, I can hardly find anything to complain about. Even more so when we are not getting a plain round disc base. That is something interesting. Like, it is a bit like the surface of water on the beach maybe. But at the same time, this is like Jesus walking on the surface of water or something. Because if there is one thing I would like to point out over here which I don't like, is that I would prefer them to do a thicker base, like slightly thicker. Sure, let the price be 20,000 yen, but the base should be thicker. And then, you know, the area where her knees are sitting on, they do, yeah, an indent. You know, the base like curves in a little bit, an indent, and then the figure will fit nicely. The figure will fit inside this gap, this indent on the base, and then it looks like, you know, that shallow amount of water is surrounding her knees nicely with some water ripple effect. I think that would be the better way of doing the base. This is nice enough, but it looks unnatural. It feels like she is kneeling on top of the surface of water rather than inside the surface of the water, if that makes any sense. So the only way to do that is to have a thicker base and then do an indent. So that is my main criticism with this figure. Maybe it is because I'm too logical as a person. So this one bothers me quite a bit, but that wouldn't stop me from pre-ordering or purchasing this figure. I don't think I'll pre-order early, but I'm considering on purchasing one after release because this thing is so cheap. Meanwhile, for Reverse Studio, you know what? They are average. Like for a Chinese brand, they mostly do excellent figures, but they had a few releases from, was it Girls Frontline? I think Girls Frontline in the past, where there were small QC issues involving the paint work. Yeah, but nothing too serious to prevent me from recommending their brand if you're still interested in this figure anyway. Moving on to the next one, the second Nikke figure here is Bei from Flare, 22,800 yen, May 2026 release. Once again, if you are unaware, Flare is like a small branch of Alter, but they are not as good as Alter. So far, I only own one single figure from them, and they happened And she happens to be from Nikke as well. Yep, Alice, which is getting a re-release, by the way. I liked that Alice figure a lot. There are many figures that I buy over the past few years which I end up selling because number one, space issues, and number two, I don't love the figure as much as I thought I would. But Alice, despite one small minor flaw on the paintwork, I'm keeping her. I like the figure a lot. So that Alice turns out fine. But Flair has placed another figure of a Nikke character. I think was Nero, right? The black color, not black color, more like dark brown hair, twin tail. I think it was Nero on pre-order more than a month ago or even months ago. And my criticism back then was that her face looks kind of dark. I'm not sure why. It feels like her hair was like a black hole sucking in all the light. No matter how much light you shine on the figure, her face just looks so dark because of the hair. The hair is like a black hole sucking in all the light sources around it. And I'm getting the same feeling over here with this Bay figure. Where, the face looks really dark. I'm not sure if it is a photography issue or the paint issue. Maybe a little bit of both. But if 3 inks 1x4 scale is way too much for you, way too expensive, then you might want to look into this one. No scale mentions over here, but they should match the other Nikke figures on pre-order by Flair, which is around 1/7 scale. 22,800 yen. I would say it is reasonable, not overpriced, but not cheap either. Ideally, maybe 20k. I paid the full price for Alice, by the way, because I liked her so much. I got it in for full price at HLJ last year. Now, this Bay, she is going to be accompanied by Clay as usual. Yep, we have a picture right here. And presumably Clay. Clay could go on pre-order next week itself. That's my prediction. Within the next week or two. And if you compare the two figures over here, Clay's face is a lot brighter, right? Like you can see her face very clearly compared to Bay. So I think this is more of an issue with the paint they used on characters with dark hair, be it dark brown or black color. The face looks darker in comparison. I don't think it is a skin color either, even if Bay has a slightly more tanned skin tone over here. The skin tone over here is very nice, just that I don't know why her face looks darker. Same problem with Nero back then. Can I recommend it? I would still say it is a yes, even though Flash QC is not as good as Outer. Like, I don't have any major problems with them, to be honest. Though I have seen worse complaints from other owners who bought Flare figures. So that's one thing to bear in mind. They are a notch or two below Outer. Okay, moving on to the next one here. This is one of the main highlights this week. From Monogatari series, we have Oshino Shinobu plushie set for only 26,600 yen. This is by Solarain, Chinese brand again. Like this week, we have so many Chinese figures. Releasing in July 2026, a lot of time for you to save up. I remember this figure very well because this was displayed back in OneFest in February. And you can get the figure only without the plushie for 24k. Okay, while I may not be exactly a fan of collecting merchandises, especially wall scrolls, like I don't want to stick too much stuff on my walls, but a plushie, maybe. I don't mind having a plushie because a plushie is something you can display next to the figure itself. So this is tough because last week we had an amazing Oshino Shinobu figure itself by Good Smile Company for around 21,700 yen or so. That was amazing. Now this one is a contender. It is almost just as good, but I'm not sure which is better. I would say I like this one just a little bit more because this is not a festive themed figure. It is not like Chinese New Year version, Christmas version, or in the case of Good Smile, last week, Halloween version. This is not a festive version. So that's the reason why I like it a little bit more. Because festive season figures, how do I even put it? It is like, when the season comes, the Halloween or the Chinese New Year season comes, maybe you give that figure extra attention, you like it a lot, you display it, and then after the festive season is over, that hype is also over, something like that. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it is like a mood thing, you know. Sometimes you feel like you like looking at the figure, while in other times you just forget about it. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe it is just me being weird. Now, this figure is not perfect either, because I find the side view to be pretty weird, to be honest. Like, what is up with the flames? Is that flame, or what is that slime going up and then bending backwards? So this is the biggest weakness I see with this figure. Like, the side view is really weird. And the figure is back heavy. Hopefully not too back heavy, because all of the weight is near the back of the figure. So perhaps objectively, Good Smile version last week could be the better figure, because that figure looks great, regardless of which angle you look at her from. But this one will look pretty weird if you don't look at the figure from the front. Oh, okay. This must be water and flames, I think. She's sitting on the bathtub, right? The side of the bathtub. And then they chopped off the bathtub. So this should be based on some kind of artwork, like cover artwork, which looks amazing when you follow the 2D artwork looking at her from the front. But once you change the angle, things start looking really weird. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about the bathtub being chopped off over here. Okay, let me take what I said earlier back. I said that I like this a little bit more than the Good Smile version. Never mind, I think Good Smile version is better than this one. Just a little. Both are great figures regardless, right? So you may want to consider pre-ordering it if you like what you're looking at. Okay, moving up next. Yeah, the Love Live series that I love criticizing so much because I never liked the character design. This looks like Ereshkigal from FGO. No, after dying in the final 2 or 3 episodes of FGO Babylonia, she was reincarnated poor, and then she had to seek idol work to make ends meet. After all, she has a pretty face, so might as well become an idol. This looks like Ereshkigal. Okay. So from Love Live, Hasuno Sora Joga Queen, School Idol Club, we have Gurino Osawa 1/7 skill. And as usual with figures by PM Office A or Plum, we always get a small discount on HLJ. Offer price is 21,850 yen. Normally 23k, just a very small discount, like 5% off. September 2025 release, not too surprised. For some reason, PM Office A always get their figures out very fast, within 3 months or so. I'm not sure how they do it. This looks like something I would display by Christmas, right? This is like a Santa dress to me. And still, 22k feels kinda expensive for a figure that is relatively simple, but hey, maybe Bandai wanted their royalty money, you know? Love Live after all. Moving up next. Okay, Blue Archive. Perhaps this is also one of the main highlights this week. So with Kayoko New Year version, by Furyu, almost 21,000 yen, January 2026 release. I think this figure went on pre-order on AmiAmi late on Saturday last week, and then HLJ listed her on Monday. Yeah. So I like this figure a lot, despite coming from Furyu, but having seen a number of scale figures by Furyu bargain binning after release, I would feel a little bit apprehensive to pre-order this way too early. Yes, but you know, the overall color scheme over here, for some reason, it is so pleasant to look at. That outfit she's wearing, this like both blue and gray color at the same time. And then this sash over here around her waist, like the color mixed in so nicely. I like it a lot. And 21,000 yen, a bit on the pricey side, because you know, lolly character, kind of short. Yeah, so a bit pricey, but still looks really good for sure. I would wait after release if I were you. I would wait, yeah. I'm a bit more picky with Blue Archive compared to Nikke. There are a lot of Nikke figures I want, but Blue Archive, I'm limiting my choices to a very select few number of figures. Moving up next, what we have here are Prisma Wing and the overpriced stuff again. Okay, this time around for this figure of Kagamine Land art by Lek, every time I see the 3 words art by Lek, I knew it is going to be overpriced. The Amiku and Luca, the pricing was absurd. This one feels a little bit more justifiable because of, the sofa he's sitting on. But still, I think this figure is like 10-15% too expensive. This would be perfect at around 28,000 yen max. Yeah, still overpriced, but this is normal for Prisma Wing and Prime 1 Studio. Coming out in July 2026. Every single art by Lack figure, man. They're so expensive. 18 centimeters sitting. Not exactly a big figure, even at 1/7 scale. So any one of you who watch my videos every week, have you guys actually purchased or pre-ordered any figure from Prisma Wing before? And if the answer is a yes, let me know your experience, what the figure actually is like. Is it worth it? I don't know when I will finally buy a scale figure by Prisma Wing. I know that I criticize them a lot, mainly for the price rather than the quality. But one day, I really wish that I get the opportunity to actually review at least one scale figure made by them. The problem is that I'm unwilling to purchase the figure after seeing the price. That's a problem, I suppose. Moving up next, we have Alter 1/7 scale Evangelion from Honkai Star Rail, 37,000 yen, July 2026 release. Very expensive. Borderline on overpricing. I know it looks incredible. That couch over there, that is one of the prettiest couch I've seen in anime figures. But I'm not sure if I can justify 37,000 yen over here. Just because it is Alter, it is not Prisma Wing, does not mean I won't criticize it. If this was 1/6 scale, then I can justify that 37k. 1/7 and... Hey, at least Alter is making a scale figure of a dude, a male character in 1/7. The one thing I really hate Alter for is that they made all of the female characters in 1/7 for FGO, and then all of the male characters, they're all 1/8. So this scale mismatch over there, they look really weird when you display all of the FGO figures side by side on a shelf. Why did they do that? Because of price. They are aiming for that like exactly 30,000 yen plus minus 10% maybe. They are aiming for that exactly 30,000 yen price point. So if they exceed the amount, they downsize it. There is one female FGO character by Alter that is 1/8 instead of 1/7, and that would be, what's her name again? Moon Cancer BB. Because that tentacle base, right? If they do it in 1/7 together with the figure and her huge outfit, the price would exceed 30,000 yen. That's my guess over there. The only exception to that rule is obviously their 1/6 scale Murasaki Shikibu rider swimsuit. That one, they intended to go over the 30k price point, so they made her big 1/6 scale. Anyways, at least we get a dude at 1/7, I suppose. And I know a lot of you are still able to justify the asking price over here just because it is Alter, isn't it? Okay, moving up next, we have 3 figures, I think. 3 figures from Proof. The first one here is from Tokimeki Tonight Ganze Eto at 1/7 scale, 18,000 yen, December 2025 release. This has to be like seasonal anime or something. My pictures are not loading, never mind. I may complain about the overpricing of some of the figures, especially the Inuyasha figure from a couple of weeks ago that was way too overpriced, 37k I think. This one, 18,000 yen, is somewhat reasonable in comparison. And Tokimeki Tonight, I think this is a very familiar title. I think I've seen this title in some torrent website before. Is it a seasonal anime? I'm not sure, but it is very, very familiar. Moving up next, the second one and the third one here, we have something from Gozen Maiden. Okay, this is Shinku, no skill mentioned, but with figures made by Proof, they are mostly around the 1/7 skill range. So this is 29,000 yen, December release as well. And this has to be one of the nicer looking Gozen Maiden skill figures right after the ones made by Alter. Yeah, also has Rosen Maiden figures around this 30k price point. I'm not sure if they are already out. I don't think so. Yeah. This for 29k for once. I don't feel that I need to criticize anything over here. As long Proof delivers on the painful and the quality, I think 29k is justified given what you're getting. That floating suitcase base and that window, that gothic window behind her. This is the very definition of a classic gothic Lolita anime. Rosen Maiden is a classic. And of course, if we get Shinku, we also get Suiginto. They are meant to be a pair. This one is 29k as well, releasing in January 2025. This is one of those few occasions where I don't think I can criticize anything. I think the price over here is very reasonable. Once again, Proof, please prove me wrong. After all, Proof, please prove me wrong and make sure that these two figures turn out amazing. And I can definitely recommend them to anyone who likes Rosen Maiden. I know that Season 1 and Season 2 were really old, from the early 2000s I think, and then there was a Season 3 like 10 years later. This is the one thing I really hate about anime in general. The time gap between seasons is so big sometimes, and then I can't remember anything. I need to go back and rewatch the whole thing before I can watch the new season. Moving up next, we have a 1/6 scale. Oh, this is 1/6. I should have placed her earlier in the 1/6 scale section. But anyways, we have Mihari Oyama t-shirt version from Onimai by Kotobukiya, 20,000 yen only. November 2025 release. And yeah, you can cast off the t-shirt over here and there would be... Man, let me refresh the page for a second. Oh, shoot. This is third world internet. As you can see, things will just break off, disconnect for no reason. Okay, we are back. So this thing is cast offable, as you can see over here. And that is as far as you can go with this one. No, you are not removing the undergarments because this is not an ecchi anime. I wouldn't say not an ecchi anime, more like very soft core, even for the standards of ecchi. 20,000 yen for a cast-off figure is fine, but are we getting ugly seam lines on the side? I'm afraid the answer is yes. The seam line over here is remarkably clean. Normally, I would expect a really ugly gap or seam along the side of the shirt, and then, you know, remove the front half and the back half of the clothes. This is quite a good seam. I hope that it remains this way in the final product. Okay, on the right side, it is more obvious. Yeah, this seam line from her armpit down, yeah, this side is a bit more obvious. But 20,000 yen, okay, fair enough. This is still good value. Yeah, November 2025 is like 5 months away, but Kotobukiya, big company, they release a lot of stuff every month, so I'm not too surprised. Moving up next, we have GGG, Gundam Guy Generation series. Okay, from Char's Counter Attack, we have Char Arsenal Commander version from MegaHouse. 23,000 yen, November release. I'm surprised this is not some kind of AmiAmi exclusive, you know. Like, MegaHouse really loves doing that. Unfortunately, MegaHouse figures, they tend to be a bit overpriced in the sense that they tend to be smaller than expected. They tell you it is non-scale, and then when you get the figure, it feels like a 1/8, not a 1/7. Yeah. My favorite Char Arsenal figure has to be the one where he is riding a horse that was over 30,000 yen, I think. Yeah, the one on the white horse went on pre-order last year. Moving up next, okay, now we are moving into low-budget scale figure territory. The first one here, we have Keqing from Genshin Impact. Yeah, Genshin Impact, man. 6,600 yen only. Yeah, Miyato's gift plus after all. I'm not surprised anymore. Releasing in February 2026. This thing was like a best seller in AmiAmi right last week. Since last week, she went on pre-order on the Saturday, I think. Can't remember anymore. Yeah, this thing is going to be a best seller for sure. So if you haven't pre-ordered her yet, pre-order her now. And paintwork on this is quite nice. Look at the gradient paintwork on this lavender purple over here. I love this kind of paintwork on figures. Good Smile Company should just give up on the pop-up red line at this point. Man, how are they going to compete, man? So we have so many Genshin Impact figures that have not received an official scale PVC figure. Raiden Shogun is the most obvious one. And then they choose to make another Keqing figure. Though this is only the second Keqing figure after the one by Apex. The next one here from Honkai Impact, third, we have Gift plus Mobius, Daughter of Coral's version, 1/8 scale by MegaHouse, 6,600 yen as well, January 2025 release. Now this thing is way more detailed than Keqing earlier, but still the same price. Okay, very detailed, man. This thing behind her, this is like an acrylic cutout from the looks of it. But still, at this price point, can't complain. I actually have a MegaHouse Gift Plus figure that is supposed to be released in late May or early June. It is not yet shipped. I paid full for it already. So you can expect me to review that one. That would be my first MegaHouse Gift Plus figure. So until then, we'll see what the quality of this product line is like, and I might buy more in the future. Colors on this, man, reminds me of CC from Code Geass a bit. I love the colors on this thing. Moving up next, we have, oh yeah, everyone's favorite Gundam character at the moment, because everyone loves their Kani. Amate Yuzuriha. Yeah, I just call her Macho. Pilot suit version. This is under MegaHouse Lucria series. They're low budget figures. They're kind of small actually. 8,000 yen only, December 2025 release. And obviously, when you buy a Macho figure, you need to make sure that you're getting that pissed off, cringe face that is like her trademark face expression. I've been using her face as my profile picture on social media for a while, on my Facebook actually. Yeah, her smile face and her cringe face. Of course, I'm going to display her with this face if I get to choose. This is worth it. Go and get one. Yeah. Moving up next, we have two terrible figures. Three of them actually. Three terrible looking figures from none other than Square Enix. 2B from Nier Automata. This is under their Formism product line, which is horrible. 4,500 yen. I will still tell you to save that money. 4,500 yen, I would rather you go and spend it on an unlicensed PVC figure, and it might turn out better than this one. Let me see if there are any close-up pictures that I can complain about. Yeah, here we go. Like the sculpt on the hair over here. The hair strands in front. It is so rough looking, isn't it? Yeah, that looks terrible, man. I know 4,500 yen is not a big amount of money, but still save it. Save it, and save a larger amount of money, and then you buy something a bit nicer. That's what I'm saying over here. This looks worse than even Pop-Up Parade, man. The next one here is just as bad. Nier Replicant version. Okay, I'm not reading that. Version 1.22. Formism as well. 7,000 yen by Square Enix. October release this October. Okay, so we have a close-up picture over here. Okay, the sculpt on his hair over here is like a bit sharper, a bit more well-defined than 2B earlier, but this is 7,000 yen after all. Still, I just couldn't advise any one of you to buy anything by Square Enix, not even their Play Arts Kai action figures. It is a shame because I actually kind of like the Play Arts Kai. They are like just the right size. They're action figures, but their size is somewhere between 1/7 to 1/6. It is like they blend in very nicely with many existing scale PVC figures. But yeah, they are QC, man. Moving up next, the third one here from Kingdom Hearts 2 Formism Sora, 6,800 yen, December 2025 release. I just want to see the close-up pictures. Okay. The problem I have is that I cannot trust what I'm seeing over here in these pictures. Sometimes the final product does not look anywhere near as good as these pictures over here. That is the biggest fear I have about Square Enix. The next figure from MegaHouse and GEM series, yeah, they are palm-sized tiny figures, as you can see over here. 7,500 yen. This is Seishiro Nagi repaint version from Blue Lock. Yeah, this figure came out before, but repaint version. No wonder it felt kind of familiar. And also, there's another one from Blue Lock over here. Ryo Mikage, 8,000 yen, November release. Tiny figures, but hey, I prefer it big. Big is always better. That's what she told me. But some people have very limited space at home, I suppose. This is something the Japanese would appreciate, yeah, with their tiny homes. Moving up next, we have MegaHouse Petite Rama DX Jujutsu Kaisen Hidden Inventory Premature Death. When I see 4 figures for 13,000 yen, it has to be something really tiny. That's the thing. So, if you want something cheap from JJK, guess what? Just get price figures. Yes, just get price figures and forget about this one. And the last figure on HLJ over here, I normally don't cover chibi figures, but I find this to look amazing actually for 7,000 yen. So coming from Apex Toys, we have Genshin Impact Furina Amai Gogo no Sanbika Chibi Chara figure. February 2026 release, and guess what, Apex Toys, how about giving us a proper scale figure already? I'm sure people would want a scale of Furina, man. Yeah, this is nice. Okay, so let's move on to AmiAmi, our next section over here for another 1x4 scale. So it is 2 1x4 scales this week, not only one. Before I proceed, if you are finding this video enjoyable so far, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. That is how you support this channel. It does not cost you anything and you're helping the channel grow bigger. Alright, so to continue where we left off, we have Code Geass Rose of the Recapture, Sakuya Sumeragi Bunny version. Almost 40,000 yen, January 2026 release. And you know what? This is apparently by MegaHouse, which is BS. See, MegaHouse or Bandai. Yeah, MegaHouse is a branch of Bandai, by the way. Their figure division in a way. MegaHouse is a little bit like, okay, here we go again with my, oh, my internet disconnected again. Great, stupid third world internet. Okay, so the thing with this figure being by MegaHouse, that is BS for sure. This is made by Free Ink. That word over there, the product line B style, is a dead giveaway. This is a Free Ink figure. And the reason why they put MegaHouse over here, okay, now it is Free Ink. Now it is Free Ink. Earlier today when this figure went on pre-order, it was written there MegaHouse. Okay, so anyways, even if they slapped the name MegaHouse on it, I wouldn't be too surprised because MegaHouse is a little bit like Square Enix. They like to slap their name on everything just to let the world know that they hold the license. You see, Good Smile has these figures, right? These Final Fantasy figures that went on pre-order a month or 2 ago. And then they put the name there Square Enix, but we all knew that was a Good Smile scale figure. Yeah. So the thing with this figure of Sakuya over here, right? I'm not sure what to think about her face because it feels a little bit off, you know. I watched this anime. I liked it a lot. Like, Code Geass is something special to me, especially the older original series from around year 2007, 2008. I loved the original Code Geass. And then I watched the newer series. I think this one at last year. I think it was last year. And then from what I remember, from what I saw in the anime, compared to this one over here, I can't help but the face is a little off, which is unusual for Free Ink because Free Ink, if there's one thing they never mess up, it is a sculpt of the face. But for some reason, this one doesn't... I mean, it is still Sakuya. I can tell it is still Sakuya, but it feels like something is off and I'm not sure what it is. Is it the shape of the face? Or is it the hair? Yeah. And this is definitely more expensive than a typical Free Ink Bunny figure because of license once again. Can I recommend it? I suppose that if you are a big fan of Code Geass, you don't have much of a choice. Are there any other scales of Sakuya Sumeragi? I think none exist yet, right? I don't think so. As for this Code Geass Rose of the Recapture whatever, the only complaints I have about this series is that it is way too short. 12 episodes is not enough. We need 24 minimum. Yeah. Moving up next. Okay, by the way, this figure of Sakuya, it is an exclusive. As you can see, AmiAmi exclusive. Before I forget, the next figure here is also an AmiAmi exclusive. Sakamoto Days Shishiba. Okay, 22,000 yen almost by MegaHouse, March 2026 release. I did not watch the anime and I don't plan to. I heard it was really good, but I don't plan to. If there are no oppai and no cute, if there is no oppai or cute lollies, I'm not watching it. Yeah, I lied because I actually watched season 1 of that Tokyo Revengers, yeah, the gangsters anime. So occasionally there were exceptions, but feels kinda expensive, but nothing unusual for MegaHouse. Just black outfit, but 22,000 yen. And the height of this figure, let me guess 1/8 scale again. So the height is 18 cm in this sitting pose, slouching a bit. Can be anywhere between 1.8 to 1.7. The next one, AmiAmi exclusive bonus. Okay, so this is a figure by Hakoiri Musume. They are known for doing scale figures at 1/6. This is a 1/6 as well. But they are the most famous for recycling. They are very environmentally friendly. Like, they have made so many Chizuru figures from Rent a Girlfriend, and then they recycle the same parts over and over again. They repaint it ever so slightly different, and then now they are reusing the same bathroom set, presumably from that Rent a Girlfriend figure. They are reusing the same bathroom set on this figure, Karen, Inukai Karen. My life as Inukai's dog. Inukai Karen, wonderful figure. So after a discount with AmiAmi bonus, 26,200 yen is actually not bad considering the entire set. But this must have been how they were able to keep the price down under control, right? They give you 1.6, they give you a full diorama, and then they don't charge too much because they mass produce the thing into oblivion, and then they reuse the same parts for multiple different figures. Pretty smart, I would say. It is pretty smart. But it can feel pretty repetitive once they use the same thing on like 5 different figures. Now, this is an edgy anime. Obviously, you have the main character being reborn, reincarnated as a dog, and then, you know, you get all those unique viewing angles you don't get as a human. Yeah. Actually, I mean, for someone who likes edgy anime like me, I haven't watched this anime yet. I got a little preview of episode 1, that is about it. I should watch it. However, with this figure, I'm not liking it that much. Like, you're really paying for the diorama over here, because otherwise the figure, you know, the detail level is kind of low, and there's barely any shading on her hair as well. And the figure is mostly hadaka, so just skin color. This is supposed to be a cheap figure to begin with. And this is not exactly an AmiAmi exclusive, right? This is just a figure where they're including the AmiAmi bonus part, like a merchandise. So this figure will go on pre-order most likely next week in some other websites like HLJ, though you will want to compare prices first before choosing where to pre-order it. Yeah. And the last figure on AmiAmi this week, I forgot to post this one on my Discord server. I shall post it later. So we have Oshino from Blue Archive, 1/7 scale by Wing. 23,100 yen, December 2025 release. December again. Stop putting figures in December, damn it. Okay, this is an AmiAmi exclusive, unfortunately. But this being a character that played a major role in the anime adaptation, I know her quite a bit for this Blue Archive character, and I like this one a lot. Nope, I won't pre-order this early because it is an AmiAmi exclusive and I have to pay the full price for it. I won't. But after release, I'll keep an eye on this one and see what kind of price I can get for her. I love that pump shotgun she's holding there, man. The detail, look at all of the slugs, all of the ammo on the side. I love those small details. And yeah, she is always sleeping, at least in the anime adaptation. I like this a lot. So it is quite a shame that this is an exclusive. And that is all for the AmiAmi section. There are no new 18 plus figures in their age restricted section this week. Interesting. And finally, our last stop, as usual, Nin-Nin Game for Be-Full Insight figures of 6 of them this week. Okay, the first one here, as usually, 1/6 and 1/4 scale to choose from. The 1/6 scale Bastinus Watagai-san, 20k at 1/6 and 33k at 1/4 standard at this point. They are releasing this December. Way too big. The melons are too big for me. The second set over here, 1/6 Koroboshi Uni, Secret Account Girl. Now the post on this is actually quite nice, to be honest. 20k at 1/6 and 33k at 1/4. Releasing in December as well. It feels like this company releases like 20 figures a month, man. 20 different figures. Okay, the face expression and the post on this is really good, but it is an inside figure. So pre-order or purchase them at your own risk. And the last pair of figures over here, this is a re-release because apparently there are many Japanese figure collectors who love their futas. Futanari Girl Yua re-release 1/6 at 20,000 yen and 1/4 at 33,000 yen as usual. So that is all for the genuine skill figures on pre-order this week. Now let's move on to third parties making use of OshGK, which is this channel's affiliate partner for the third party section. And as usual, if you're interested in pre-ordering or purchasing literally anything, not just figures, can be Gunpla, can be something else, please to make use of my affiliate links down in the descriptions below to enter these websites before I proceed to buy anything. That is how you support this channel. Yeah, without paying a single cent in extra even. So moving on to the third parties this week, not too many figures actually. I am counting like 15 or 17 figures over here, but let's begin with Anya's as usual. We have 2 Anya figures from CR Studio. The first one is Anya Cos Gaara. Is this from Naruto? $99. You get to choose between brown hair and pink hair. Yeah, I think this is from Naruto that I sign on her. For this version of Anya, I would go for the brown hair because it still looks like Anya. Alright. I like the texture though. Look at this texture over here. Yeah. Stone-like texture. I love this. Alright, moving up to the second Anya figure over here. Anya cosplay as Pain 2.0, also from Naruto by CR Studio. $118. What is the second hair color option? Yeah, orange, sure. Releasing, okay, no release date again. So CR Studio, in case you know nothing about them, they print Anya figures like printing paper. Way too many of them. But because of that, because they make so many of them, it also means that they are very experienced at it. They could do nothing wrong. Like, yeah, they are very good at making Anya figures. So this is all up to whether you like these figures as crossovers or as meme material. I don't know. The third Anya figure here, we have CM Studio and Ruin Studio. Anya cost Chainsaw Man $111. We have normal Anya on screen here and then bloody Anya. And Bond. Okay, Bond, they only have a CGI picture over here. I'm not seeing any difference though. Maybe the normal version there won't be. Oh, there we go. The pictures are loading slow. Damn. Normal. Damn. This has to be the first time I'm seeing an Anya figure with this face expression. I would take this over the one with the chain sorting on her head because of the face expression alone. Damn. Now this is too mainstream. Alright, $113 with that base over there is fair, I suppose, at 1/6 scale. But moving up next, we have another Doro over here. Doro cosplaying as Doraemon. Funny. From Jumi Wanjia Studio, $37, September 2025 release. I wouldn't bother with something like this, but I still like seeing this kind of crossovers. I think it is funny. So the English name for this studio is Mocking Studio, apparently. Moving up next, we have YYDS Studio. They actually do a lot of Detective Conan figures. This is Kimono edition of I Haibara. 3 versions. Version A, $131. Version B. You see, I think my pictures are not loading again. Let me zoom in and hope everything loads. Yeah, different colors for outfit. I think the pink is better because it is of a different color with her umbrella and the bridge. Meanwhile, this one is all red color everything, right? So it is like less color contrast in a way, even though the dark navy blue ribbon behind looks really nice. Yeah, I would take the pink one because of color contrast, I suppose. Moving up next, we have a figure of Ayanami Rei at 1x4 from Origin Studio, $365 only. December 2025 release. Now that is a good price for a 1x4. Okay, this is like, how do I call it? A balanced package in a way. The figure is not overly complex, not overly cluttered, right? And it does not take up way too much display space. The price is also just nice, and at this price you are getting a second face sculpt, a realistic one. Not that I care, I won't display her with this one, but at the same time, this face sculpt over here reminds me of art by Shunya Yamashita. Yeah, like there's a very similar vibe over there. Art by Shunya was a very popular thing like 10 years ago. Nowadays, we don't see many figures of that art style anymore. This is a very good face sculpt, the anime version. This is really good. So $365, I would say this is quite the bargain. Releasing in December 2025. Everything has to be December, isn't it? Moving up next, we have 2 figures from Mortal Kombat. Is this like a Japanese game or a Western game? I'm not too sure. But anyways, they caught my attention, so I decided to cover them. This is from Epic Creation Studio, 1x4 scale, $900, June 2026 release. Is it licensed? No, not licensed. Why is it so expensive? Okay, I just want to have a look. A closer look at her face, man. I'm not sure if this is worth $900. Holy crap, man. This is so realistic. I could have mistaken this picture for a photograph of an actual person. So, if this is actually what we are getting in the final product, maybe it is justifiable, the $900 there, maybe, but I would say the ideal price for this statue is maybe $750 or $800. This is a tad bit too expensive. Yeah, even with the additional head sculpt for us to swap out, I think $800 is fair. I mean, put aside the face sculpt over there, everything else, it is not like this thing is extraordinarily detailed in any way. This is about par for the course, normal for 1x4 scale. The second 1x4 over here from Mortal Kombat is Jade by Epic Creation Studio, $900 as well. September 2026 release. I like this one a lot more, but it probably has to do with how shiny her outfit is. And we should get a second face sculpt, right? Yep, there we go. It looks really good. We get some texture on her outfit over here. But I think my opinion remains the same. $900 feels a little bit high, a little bit expensive for what it is. Okay, moving up next, we have this Starexva Studio licensed figure brand. We have Anne Takamaki from Persona 5 with Carmen, $778. So given that this is Starexva Studio we're talking about, it means that in the next week or two, HLJ will also list her on pre-order. Maybe 180,000 yen, 200,000 yen price range. Compare price and do your conversions before deciding where to pre-order it. So, and Takamaki is one of those very few persona characters that I kind of like because, man, her body is hot. See, I did not watch any of the anime adaptations, and I don't plan to, but man, there was another third party that did a 1x4 scale figure of her. I can't remember which brand. Was it Fallen Angel Studio? Was it can't remember which one anymore. It was around $500. But I bet that if you start looking for that one today, it is going to cost a lot more. All of this for $778. I think it is reasonable, to be honest, because it is licensed. In comparison, that Mortal Kombat thing earlier is $900, and there were no indications of it being licensed. So this is a point where you get to compare, you see. All of this for $778 is not bad at all. But this thing is way too cluttered, way too messy to my liking. Like, there are way too much stuff going on in one figure. It looks messy. That's my biggest problem over here. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, I forgot to check the scale. See, this is a 1x6, not a 1x4. My bad for comparing this to that Mortal Kombat figure earlier. They are not comparable. This is a 1x6. You know, the thought of checking the scale came to mind after I saw how complicated, how messy the figure is. And then I was asking myself, is this really 1x4 at $778? It can't be. Then, yeah, I went out 1x6. There we go. So, is it justifiable? 1x6 scale, all of this for $778. Do bear in mind, this is resin. This is not PVC. I'll let you decide. Yeah. But there is a third party that did a 1/4 of her at $500+ or so from what I remember. I would rather take that one given the choice. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. This is one of my favorite resin figures this week. This is licensed. TGZW Studio. Capcom officially licensed Juri Han from Street Fighter. Okay, $424 for a 1x4 scale is remarkably cheap for licensed 1x4. Okay, September 2025 release very soon. So do you know what is my favorite thing about this Han Juri figure? The face is fantastic. So with this one, they kind of preserved her evil face, but at the same time, she still looks very feminine, and that is the important part. Because I've seen so many Street Fighter figures, be it the licensed one or the third parties, if the art style is based on Street Fighter 6, not 4 or 5, then the characters, they kind of look a little bit too manly, too masculine in a way. It does not matter whether it is Chun-Li or Cammy or Juri or any other female characters. It is like they look a little bit too masculine. I'm not sure if that is... I'm not sure if that has anything to do with this movement in Western countries. I know that Capcom is a Japanese brand, a Japanese game company, but their core audience tend to be more Western. So it wouldn't surprise me if their game character designs are meant to appeal to a Western audience more. So they uglify the characters, they make them dress up very decently, not showing too much skin. You compare Street Fighter 4, 5 to the newer 6 one, you just look at Cammy, man. Her trademark leotard suit with that big, meaty, slappable backside over there, they replaced all of that. They covered everything up. And you have no idea how pissed I was when I saw the new character designs for Street Fighter 6 and I did not want to have anything to do with the game. It felt like, yeah, all of the ugly character designs we are seeing from Western companies lately, The Last of Us and stuff like that, it reminded me of that. So to see this Han Juri figure over here looking mostly very feminine, I'm very happy. And this is like one of the best looking Han Juri figure yet so far. There are so many already out there, but this is one of the best looking so far in terms of the face. My only complaint is that unfortunately, she is dressed up in this, is this like some kind of bodysuit? I'm not sure. I would prefer if they go for her Street Fighter 4 default game outfit. Yeah, the crop top with the long pants and then visible waist, right? That would be the best. This face compared with her Street Fighter 4 game character outfit, that would be perfect combination. But I would take this. I would take this over many other Juri Han figures given a choice. And at this $424, go for it if you love Street Fighter. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Cammy. This is a 1x3 scale doll, a seamless silicone doll, Ling Yun Studio, and $542. Why does this remind me of Yojai Wenshin Studio? They do the same thing, 1x3 scale doll, and around $400. This is very similar in that regard. And coming out this August 2025. Okay, this Cammy, her face is very British for sure, but I'm not sure if I like the rest. Yeah, the skin is a tad bit too shiny. Oh god, the hand, that is a man's hand, that is not a woman's hand. Oh god, the hand looks terrible over here. It is too masculine, you see? That's the problem. See, I can't scroll through the pictures even though there are more pictures at the bottom. Very British face for sure. See the way the material is bending over here. This is either silicone or polyurethane. And yeah, given that this is a doll, it means that you can undress it. But I don't like this Cammy. Okay, moving up next, we have a 1x4 again from YM Studio, Jabami Yumeko from Kakegurui. So there are two versions over here. I can't click on version B because, you know, she is wearing almost nothing. But unfortunately, you are not getting that nyan nyan down there because the Chinese brands can't do it. It is just that she is very minimally dressed. So that is all you get. I would stick to a version A instead of getting a deluxe one, which is $444. But the problem I have with this Jabami Yumeko figure, I would say stay away from it because that stupid realistic face. When we talk about Jabami Yumeko or any girls from Kakegurui, we need that sadist face where they appear to be addicted to gambling, right? That that orgasm face where they had when they were gambling. It needs to come that face. Not only did we not get that high face, that orgasm face, not only are we not getting that, we're getting an ugly realistic face, and that is not doing this character any justice. I know there is a live action adaptation of Kakegurui, but still, no, I wouldn't get this. This is not loyal to the original material. Moving up next, we have PJ Studio again, from Linkage by Yue Kui, $117 only because this is a PVC figure, licensed of course, September 2026 release. This figure is beautiful, like whatever this is, she's leaning against, and this background is set up for the photography of this figure. This reminds me of Kowloon, Hong Kong for sure. Yup. I have never been a fan of realistic faces as usual, but this is still a beautiful figure that I wouldn't mind having or even reviewing, for sure. Details are great on this thing. Oh, she actually looks great with glasses, man. Yeah. This is a beautiful set. Can I buy everything behind her? Not the figure, but everything behind her. I want it. I want the diorama. Alright, $117 is a bargain. Absolute bargain. Moving up next, we have this Kasugano Sora figure, 1x6 scale by Blink Studio. There's a regular version and an EX version over there. Regular version is $194. EX version, no, you're not casting her off. That's bad news. You're getting a second figure of her in that Chinese dress outfit. We have enough Chinese dress figures of Kasugano Sora already. Ultimate a few. And you know what? With this Kasugano Sora figure over here, the face does not look like her at all. It is like her eyes are a tad bit too big, isn't it? Yeah, I can't recommend this one. Unfortunately, I don't think it looks like Sora at all. Granted, this could be like a different art style, a different artist with his or her own take on the same character, but I don't like the results over here. The eyes are way too big. Yeah. So in the end, it feels like some other character cosplaying as Kasugano Sora rather than Sora herself. I'm not liking this one, unfortunately. Yeah. So moving on to the next one here, we have Ram and Ram by Tistel Santon's Studio. JK Gyaro. So a set for $344 at 1/6 scale, or you can buy them separately for $188 each. So if you get the set, you actually get a small discount over there. I'm not scrolling through the pictures because I've seen the pictures earlier and they appear to be not wearing any pantsu. Like the butt cheeks are so, like into your face, that kind. So no, I'm not scrolling through the pictures. Interesting concept, I would say. Very interesting concept, but I'm not sure if I like it. It feels like they have made their oppai too big, especially with Ram. Ram's chest is way smaller than Ram. Borderline flat even. So they made it unnecessarily big just for fan service. And what is up with the long hair? That is such cringe, man. The face is nice, but long hair and wrong bust size, they ruins this figure for me. Moving up next, we have two figures from Genshin Impact. The first one is Raiden Shogun from Cupid Studio, $99, September 2025 release. And do you know what this feels like to me? It feels like they took one of the $99 One Piece figures and then they slapped on Raiden Shogun's head and called it a day. This feels like one of those buff series figures, buff towel figures of Nami from One Piece. In fact, the body proportions and everything, it feels so familiar. It feels like they swapped out the head for some other character. For $99, which is cheap, nope, don't get this. Put in some effort to hunt for some other Raiden Shogun figures out there. I know that many of them were already released a few months ago, and some could be pretty hard to come by, but just buy anything else other than this one. This is a One Piece figure. Okay, moving up next, we have Xiao Huan Xiong Studio Varisa from Genshin Impact. This is $248 at 1/6, no release date yet. Okay, so this is quite nice. We had like a few other Varisa figures by third parties, not many, but there were a few others out there. This is one of the better looking ones yet. And what is up with that burger she's standing on? Is that her favorite food or something? Let me know in the comments below. This is a really good Varisa figure. The previous ones, I remember there was one with cow bikini, right? I can't remember which brand did it, but this one is not that fan servicey in comparison, so some of you may prefer that. And the face looks pretty good as well. Yeah, so full package over here, including the base for $248, I would say this is fair. This is not bad at all. We are not getting many Genshin Impact figures anymore nowadays, and this is a good one. Yeah. Okay, moving up next, we have Spirit Demon Studio Mem from Honkai Star Rail. We only get this illustration, not even a prototype yet. But for those of you who love furries, you might want to keep an eye on this. No, I don't think this will be $335 unless it is a giant figure like this big. If it is actually 1/6, I don't think it will be $335. That would be absurd. Anyways, don't pre-order stuff based on pictures like this. Wait until you get at least a prototype picture. Yeah. The second Honkai Star Rail figure over here, we have Hyacinth from Grooming Studio, $184 at 1/6 scale, December 2025 release. Now, this looks good actually. This looks pretty good. And I have also noticed that the number of Honkai Star Rail figures, even from third parties nowadays, are reducing in numbers. Like, there's a big decline, not many anymore. So the full package over here, I'm not sure if I like the base. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at all. Why is there an LGBT flag on the base? Or is that actually part of her outfit design? Anyways, $184 for all of this is very reasonable for sure. The face is good. Yeah. Just that. Yeah, shading is a little bit light. I'm not seeing much shading on her wing, on her hair over there. There's a bit, but very light shading over there. Moving up next, we have this unpainted figure of Cinderella Glass Princess from Goddess of Victory Nikke by Yami Studio, $266, December 2025 release. So down here, it is mentioned that this is a pre-painted GK. The current display shows the grey prototype. Color samples will be released as development progress, expected around August. Still a long way to go. So you are taking pre-orders for an unpainted figure of a character where we already have an amazing 1x4 skill coming from Hobby Sakura, and you expect us to hit the pre-order button on this without showing us a painted sample when we have very good options out there already. Max Factory has a skill figure coming. We had the action figure going on pre-order today, right? The Good Smile. What was the name of the products line again? There was an action figure that went on pre-order I did not cover. That was like 16,000 yen, but she looks really good. But I'm not collecting action figures. I'll wait for the 1x4 skill by Hobby Sakura. And I might get the 1/7 by Max Factory as well. So this is, there is serious competition. And this company, Yami Studio, thinks it is a good idea to show us a grey prototype and take pre-orders so early. Yeah, that's the thing. The sculpt here looks amazing. It looks amazing. It looks very detailed. But when you look at what the competition is doing, I'm not sure if this is a good idea to take pre-orders based off an unpainted prototype. Of course, I'm not yet writing off this figure. I'm not writing it off. I think it looks amazing. Just that this is not a good idea to take pre-orders this way. That's the thing. Okay, moving up next. We have one single blue archive figure over here. Murokasa Akane from Cast Design Studio. This is a 1x4, by the way. $425, June 2026. Now, this is the kind of thing you should be pre-ordering this week. Together with that Juri Han figure earlier, I regard these two to be the best this week. And that is despite the fact that I don't like giant melons like these. So $425 for 1/4 like this is great value for sure. Hit that pre-order button if you collect third parties. Her face looks amazing as well over here. Moving on to the next one, the last two figures for this week are from Azur. The first one is MegaHouse Studio Shinano. So this is available in 1/6 and 1/4. The 1x6 scale is, what's the price over here? $231, and you get to choose between a normal face and an Ahegao face, right? They call it Tongue Out Edition, basically Ahegao face. And then there is a barefoot version where she's not wearing stockings, the one you're seeing on screen. You're getting barefoot instead. Oh, that is not Ahegao. So disappointing. No, that is not really Ahegao. Quite disappointing. I just assumed it was. Now, the problem here is so obvious. They're taking pre-orders based off an artwork. Right? Where's the prototype? Where is the painted sample? The pose is nice though. The pose is nice, and this reminds me of the Race Queen series by Apex Toys, right? They had Baltimore and what was the name again, the other one? I would expect Apex Toys to do one sometime in future. Shinano in this Race Queen outfit. The last figure for today is coming from Yam's collection, Yam's Collector Studio, Admiral Nakimov. Okay, so this is a 1x6 scale. There are two versions over here. The battle suit version, where she's wearing the full body suit, that is the one I would prefer, because the underwear version, it is like she is wearing a pair of CDs on her chest. Like, what is that? It is weird. So the battle suit version, if you get only one, the price is only $213. The underwear version is $213, or you can get both for $384. But I would settle for just one version. Imagine buying two versions of every single figure, and then, yeah, your space will fill up twice as fast. So Yam's Collectors Studio, I'm surprised that they did not offer an 18+ version for this figure. I think they do make 18+ figures. And Admiral Nakimov, I think it is one of those Azur characters that I have yet to see any genuine PVC figures yet. Yeah. So this is also one of the better third-party figures this week. If you are looking for something to pre-order, you might want to look into this one. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one tickles your fancy? Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please do give it a like. And once again, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.